Hi, YouTube. Recently I was watching some videos on YouTube about Japanese food. And one video linked to another, linked to another, linked to another. Later, I discovered there is a somewhat large community of what is called Jvloggers. These are foreigners, or in Japan they call them gaijin, living in Japan, documenting their lives there. And many of them do question and answer videos and tips on living here and how to get here and how to land a job here. And a lot of them happen to be English teachers. Not all of them, but a lot of them do happen to be English teachers. I have a couple of questions for these Jvloggers. This video is an open question to them all. By the way, I finally got a tripod, so the camera's not as shaky anymore. I'll get straight to the point on my questions. By the way, though, I am not a person seeking to live in Japan to teach English or anything like that. I'm just a librarian and occasional tour guide. But I would like to go to Japan one day as a tourist. I want to hike, I want to go up Mount Fuji, and I want to visit the island of Hokkaido. So I have two questions for the Jvlogging community. Anyone who answers this video will be my best friend. If you're ever in my area of the world, North Sulawesi, Indonesia, I'll give you a free tour guide. I'll give you a free guided tour, yeah. How's that? So I don't intend to move there, so I don't need tips on how to land a job or anything. Now, these questions are directed at the English teachers. The first question is, why do you do what you do? Why are you an English teacher in Japan? Are you genuinely interested in Japanese culture? Genuinely fascinated by it and genuinely love it so much you have to live there? If so, then good for you. You're doing what you love. Good for you. Are you in it for the money? Is teaching English in Japan an easy way to make a lot of money fast? I wouldn't know. But there happen to be a lot of people out there. I looked at the comments below many of these videos. There's all these people saying, must go to Japan, must go to Japan. Now, I'm not going to name any Jvloggers, by the way, on this recording, because I don't know the terms of use for YouTube by referring to other YouTubers. I don't know the rules for that. So, yeah, are you genuinely interested in the culture? Are you in it for the money? Third, are you in it for the perks? Are you in it because you like sushi? Are you doing it because you like the girls there? Are you doing it because you are a fan of anime? Now, if so, I'm sure none of you will admit that. I'm sure there's some of you that are like that, but not the vast majority, no. If you are doing it for the perks, well, also good for you. You're doing what you love, but you're taking advantage of the system by teaching English. So yeah, why are you doing it? The second question is, can you give me some statistics of how many English speakers there are in Japan? How many Japanese people speak English fluently or moderately well, reasonably well? Like, for example, shall we say in Tokyo there's this many people, but as you go out into the countryside, less and less people speak English. Can you give me some statistics? Because I want to know, is your English teaching, and the English teachers in Japan, there's no short supply of them. Are you guys making a dent in the numbers? Are you making an effect on the overall numbers of English speakers in Japan? I ask this because I see so many of you. I'm thinking, hey, sooner or later, there has to be the vast majority of the Japanese should speak English by then, right? Or at the very least, there are large concentrations of English speakers in certain cities. It's got to be like that, right? If there's so many of you guys out there. For example, the reason I ask this is because when I go there as a tourist, I want to know that I will not get lost. The signs are all in Japanese characters. I think you call it kanji. And they don't, of course, use the Latin alphabet, obviously. So you'll not be able to read the street signs. You'll not be able to read any maps. So you'll get lost. And if there is so many people, and if the majority of the Japanese people do not speak English, and you speak zero Japanese or very, very, very limited amount, just a few basic words, you could get lost. You could get lost in Japan. If, on the other hand, in the Netherlands, for example, I go there regularly, the vast majority of the Dutch speak English fluently as a second language. The vast majority. There are only a few senior citizens who don't speak English at all in the Netherlands. But the vast majority speak English as a second language. So I won't get lost. And even if you are kind of reluctant, even if how do I put this? Even if you don't talk to people, you can still read street signs because they use the Latin alphabet there. And you can read maps and so on. So, if I went to the Netherlands, every time I go to the Netherlands, I know I'll never get lost. But I'll definitely get lost in Japan if there's not a lot of English speakers there. So anyway, that's why I ask for those numbers as to how many English speakers there are in Japan. Because if you guys are not making a difference, then my only conclusion is a negative one, is that you're only entertainers. that you're only there to humor certain Japanese people who want to meet a foreigner and who want to open up to other cultures, which is fine, want to open up to other cultures and other people outside of Japan, which is fine, but you're only entertaining them, you're not being constructive in helping future tourists go to Japan and not be afraid of getting lost. That might be the fourth reason why you are there. That you're on a mission, that you're there to make sure that potential tourists like myself don't get lost because they don't speak Japanese. Okay, so open question to all you Jvloggers out there. Thanks for listening.